This is episode number 43 of Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse. In today's episode, we will be talking about Walt Disney World's Boardwalk. It's been described as a quarter-mile promenade of exquisite dining, unique shops, and exciting nightlife.
Everything Disney in and out of the house. Two grown-ups and a mouse.
Hi there, I'm AJ.
I'm Andrew.
And you are listening to Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse.
The podcast.
The videocast.
The YouTube channel.
Sure.
The Facebook page.
Sure.
The website.
Yes.
Twitter.
All of the above.
The Twitter.
The Twitter. You can find us at Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse on all social media or twogrownupsandamouse.com.
That's right.
And you found us, so thank you. If you're a return listener, watcher, thank you. If you're new, welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get into it.
All right.
So, I was at work the other day, and I was talking to someone, and one of her friends was staying at a resort in Orlando, and we were trying to figure out which resort it was.
Right.
And we finally deciphered that it looked like the Dolphin Resort, which is on Disney property, but it is not a Disney resort per se. They do get some of the same benefits, but that's another podcast
Right.
for later. So when I said, oh yeah, that's the Dolphin Resort, it's located by Epcot and the Boardwalk, she looked at me and said, the Boardwalk? And I said, yeah, you've never heard of the Boardwalk? And she said, no. So I think we've talked about it a little bit
Sure.
previously, but now we'll go into a little more detail.
Yeah.
Today's episode will focus on it. So online, if, just for a short description, it says Disney Boardwalk Resort is a AAA 4-Diamond Award-winning hotel and entertainment complex at the Walt Disney World Resort in Bay Lake, Florida, near Orlando, Florida. First opened in 1996, the Boardwalk Resort lies in the Epcot Resort area alongside Crescent Lake and is situated between Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios. The resort is owned and operated by Walt Disney Parks, Experiences, and Consumer Products. The inn and the villas share a common lobby with the rest of the resort. The inn, Atlantic Dance Hall, and other features of the boardwalk were designed by Robert A.M. Stern Architects. So that's kind of a little description of it. And we probably talked about it before when we talked about Yachtsman Steakhouse, which we mention frequently.
Right.
And the reason is basically it's Crescent Lake, apparently, right? That's what they call that body of water in the center of it. If you left Epcot at the International Gateway, so basically most people would call that, and I'll use my air quotes, back of the park, right? Because it's not the main entrance, so therefore that makes it the back entrance, right? So it's
kind of a side, but yeah,
right, but
back-ish.
Right, but as opposed to the main entrance, if you considered the main entrance the front of the park, you would consider that entrance the back of the park.
Sure.
For argument's sake. So if you were to leave International Gateway, you go out that exit, you basically come to a circle.
Right.
A circular path.
Yep.
And if you go to the right, you would hit the Beach Club Resort and then the Yacht Club Resort.
Right.
Or if you went to the left, you would be at the boardwalk.
Correct.
Starting with ESPN.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in a second.
Right.
So, and of course you can continue around and pass everything.
Right.
But
it's boardwalk is a tenuous term anyways, because it's not, there is literally a boardwalk there, but there's also a boardwalk in front of Yacht Beach Club. It starts about halfway into that resort area. So they basically just built the path over water, hence boardwalk. But that's it's not, it's circular, but it's obviously, it goes around Crescent Lake. So it's kind of not perfectly around, but
right. It's not a round
whatever.
circle, but for argument's sake, you could walk in a circle-ish manner and walk the boardwalk and pass Yacht Club and Beach Club. It is reminiscent of Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York. A lot of people are probably familiar with Coney Island. And
except that there's no hot dog stand.
Yes, there is.
And there is no roller coaster.
There's no roller coaster, but there is a hot dog cart.
Well, It's not the same.
I'm sure it's not the same, but there is a hot dog cart. If you are staying on property, Walt Disney World strongly recommends that you utilize complimentary transportation.
Right.
There is not much parking space available in that resort area.
Correct.
So if you do bring a car, you might be forced to use the valet,
Right.
which nowadays runs right around $25.
25 or 30.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's not cheap.
No, it's per day, and it's good for all hotels for the day, but it's still it's pricey. And the hard part is it just depends on how busy it is, whether they're going to let you in or not. And then even if they do, sometimes you still have to walk. Like a lot of times when you go to the Boardwalk Resort and try to park, they make you park across the street and then walk. I mean, you have to walk half a mile just to get back to the resort.
What we purchased at the art festival, a piece of artwork. Did you pick up the picture at the boardwalk?
Yeah.
Did you have to park across the street that day, or were you?
No, we came in and told the guard that we were picking some art up, and he let us in. So, but even then, it was busy enough that we still had to park quite a ways away. So,
Right. That day was right around our birthdays. We were going out to dinner that night,
Right.
so my girlfriend and I went and got our hair and nails done, and the boys went and picked up artwork.
yep, pretty much.
So I really wasn't with you when you went to pick that up.
Right.
If as we already mentioned, if you were coming from Epcot, you can enter through the International Gateway. And they also recommend that if you are going to visit Epcot, that you park in the Epcot parking lot,
Right.
not at the Boardwalk parking lot.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if you're just trying to skip out on the parking, it's a lot of walking just to get out there, because any of the resorts that you would be able to get into, you would still have to walk a ways.
Right.
You know, and in the Florida heat, that's pretty nasty. So
Right. Yeah, and Epcot is not a small park, so
No.
you would have, if you're going to Epcot, then you have to walk from the parking lot across the street, then walk to the boardwalk, then walk the boardwalk to get into Epcot, and then
Correct.
still walk Epcot. So it could
Right.
be a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Some of the things you can do at the boardwalk, they do have Surrey bicycle rentals. I did that in, I want to say 2000, but I did it by myself, and I would not recommend doing it by yourself.
no,
It's not that I'm not recommending doing it, because it can be a lot of fun, but there are a few hills on the path.
that's correct.
They're not too difficult to walk, but biking a Surrey bike that's meant for 2 or more people
Right.
by yourself up a hill,
So did you get a 2-person bike, or did you get
that was the smallest one they had.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I
well,
had.
you didn't have the 4-person bike.
No, I got the smallest one that was available, but
Right.
so it's my body weight plus the weight of the bike,
Right.
and I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
I had to step out and walk the bike up a couple of those hills.
Right.
So, but it's still a lot of fun, and I would love to do that again sometime. I just haven't had an opportunity to.
Sure.
They do have a few midway games and a few street performers, though ironically, you and I have been to the boardwalk a few times, and I don't recall really seeing too many
Yeah, we've seen
of the street performers.
we've seen some of the performers.
Did
yeah.
we?
Yeah, I don't know if we ever grabbed any pictures of any of them, but I'll have to look and see. But yeah, we've seen it. I mean, they're not. It's not. There's anything crazy memorable about them, but that's just entertainment.
Right. Well, not crazy memorable about the ones that we saw, but that might have been a
Right.
while ago. So who knows? Maybe there's
Oh, yeah.
newer, more exciting entertainment now.
Sure.
They have a lot of restaurants
Mm-hmm.
at the boardwalk. And the first one, because I already mentioned it, was the ESPN Club.
Right.
That's on one end of the boardwalk.
Mhm.
And I know I'm pretty sure we've talked about that restaurant before. We said, when there's bigger sporting events,
Right.
that tends to be busier.
Oh yeah.
I think we compared that to Rick's Lounge, saying, a lot of people don't know about Rick's because it's inside of Coronado. They
Right.
don't realize it's a little sports restaurant with a lot of TVs in it. So they all head over to the ESPN Club.
Right. Well, and it's not fair because Rick's only recently-ish, quote unquote, kind of went from being a restaurant lounge bar to more of a sporty bar. I don't even know if I would call it a sports bar yet, but yeah, they have lots of TVs, so not a lot of people know about that yet. But they're catering to to the conference crowds too. So
Right. The people that are going to the conventions
Right.
at Coronado and they need a place to hang out.
sure,
But ESPN Club is a restaurant and a bar, and it gets very popular whenever there are larger sporting events. They also have a small ESPN store adjacent to it. So
Right.
if you want to buy some merchandise, you can.
right. Well, and you need to be careful because on bigger sporting events, there's going to be a line out the door. So if you actually want to see your event, you might make sure you plan ahead. It might not even be a bad idea to stop in ahead of time and ask them what they think their best strategy would be in order to get there, because you could walk up and not get to see whatever you're coming to see because
That is a possibility.
well, we've seen the line out the door a few times. So
Right. There is the Big River Grill and Brewing Works, which is casual dining, American style.
Mhm.
The Boardwalk Bakery is just a counter service bakery. And I would compare it to the confectionery on Main Street
right,
or
So,
Goofy's
bakery-
Candy Company.
yeah, bakery is tenuous. It's really a candy shop.
Right.
Candy, ice cream,
Right. Just like
desserts.
just like Goofy's. And
Right.
then what's the one on West Side called?
It's something cauldron.
Candy Cauldron.
Right.
Candy. I knew it had some kind of like wicked name in it because
Right.
it was like the evil
Right.
side. But yeah, all of those candy stores have a bakery items, cookies and cupcakes and whatever and whatnot. And that's basically what they have at the Boardwalk Bakery. Though they might have a few additional pastries there. It's possible, but
Well, they might, but they're going to be dessert. They're not going to be. Don't think you're going there and getting a loaf of bread.
right, exactly right. They're
Right.
dessert pastries. There also is the Flying Fish Cafe, which is fine signature dining.
Mm-hmm.
And using the word signature mostly because it, in addition to being really good, it might be a little more expensive than some of your other options.
Right. So typically, a signature restaurant, you're going to get pricing that starts. A main course is going to start at $30 or $40 and go up. So, as opposed to just a normal dining,
Right.
which is going to be, they'll start off in the high teens maybe, and then or $20 range. So.
We should go back there. We haven't been to that restaurant in quite some time,
Right.
but I remember it was good.
Yeah.
That's where we got the crab cake recipe from, wasn't it?
That is.
And then we had to go there to try their crab cakes.
To see how they compare.
A lot of their recipes, if you ever try something, they're happy to share the recipe with you. They do sell a lot of cookbooks, especially during Food and Wine.
Right.
At Epcot, you can find the cookbooks or websites we've referenced before, such as allears.net.
Mm-hmm.
You can find a lot of recipes that people have
Right.
accrued over time. We found a recipe for a crab cake and a remoulade sauce.
Yep.
And we made that, ironically, for Mother's Day
Mm-hmm.
because we are recording this on Mother's Day.
That's right.
So, a little side note, if you're a mother, happy Mother's Day. And then after we made the crab cakes and they came out really good, we went to Flying Fish and we tasted their version and we said, we did a good job. It tastes pretty similar.
Right.
So a lot of those recipes are spot on,
Yep.
which is really nice. Ample Hills Creamery.
Mm-hmm.
We've eaten there before as well.
Yep.
I remember it was like a little sampler
Right.
ice cream plate with, I want to say 5 or 6 flavors.
Yeah, it was just a little scoop of each.
A very small scoop of each.
Not each, but I mean, like you said, it was 5 or 6, maybe even 7.
Right.
I think that because it was in a circular type pail.
It looked like a palette, like an artist's palette almost.
Right.
And each scoop of ice cream went into where the paint would normally go.
Right.
And that was really good and not a huge amount of dessert either. Not a tiny amount by any means.
No, and I think if you get one of the smaller ones, that would probably be a more normal shareable dessert. But yeah, for us, we got the bigger one. Of course, it kind of backfired on us because we also ate it in the hot sun. So by the time we were getting finished, it was more drinkable than ice cream. But
Yeah.
keep that in mind when you're getting ice cream in Florida. So
Exactly.
it doesn't take long.
There is a pizza window,
Mhm.
which is just a quick service. You can go up to the window and get a slice of pizza.
Yep.
And Trattoria Al Forna, which replaced Cucina by Cat Cosa. And we ate at Cucina with
Cat Cora, but yes.
I said Cat Cora. I think I said it Cat Cora like that.
You said Cat Cosa. Either way,
Cucina by Cat Cora.
there you go.
Ta-da! I did it. You're mean to me. But we ate at Cucina.
Mm-hmm.
And we ate at Spoodles. We ate at Cucina. And now it is Trattoria al Forno. Or Forno.
Forno.
Forno. Forno. No. Yes.
Our Italian friends are going to be very upset with you.
Yeah. And we have yet to eat there, but they have the Bon Voyage breakfast since 2017, where you can possibly meet Rapunzel and Flynn Rider or Ariel and Prince Eric, but specific characters are never guaranteed. So you might go for the Bon Voyage breakfast and you're hoping to see Rapunzel and Flynn.
Right.
And you might see Ariel and Eric.
That's right.
That is a possibility.
Yeah.
We are going with friends in August. I mean, of course, we go pretty much once a month, if not a little bit more.
Right.
But we do have a special trip planned for August, and we will be enjoying that dining experience, which is really nice because they have a 5-year-old, so we'll get to vicariously enjoy it, as she's enjoying it.
Right.
So that should be a fun experience going with a child, and a well-behaved one at that.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that. You can, that's pretty much all of the dining options, except for the food carts. Let's not forget the food carts. Boardwalk Joe's Marvelous Margaritas, a funnel cake cart, and the to-go cart, which has hot dogs. Mm-hmm. So when you said earlier there's no hot dog stand, there kind of is, even if it's not the same.
Yeah, it won't be.
But
obviously we're not including like the restaurants that are in each of the resorts either. So
right inside of the boardwalk.
Right. So
resort.
Yeah, I mean there's restaurants there. There's restaurants in Yacht Club, Beach Club.
Right.
The Swan and Dolphin. Yada yada.
We are talking about
strictly the boardwalk.
Places that you could go if you're walking the boardwalk, and you could walk into the door of these locations. There's a little bit of shopping. Not as much as I would prefer because, shopping's fun. Mm-hmm. But there are a few shopping opportunities at the boardwalk, including Dundee's Sundries, which that is basically for the DVC guests. I mean, anybody can shop there, but what I'm saying is anytime you go to a DVC resort, a Disney Vacation Club resort, because they are basically timeshares, they do make sure to have microwavable food and milk and orange juice and all of those type of food items.
Well, they have more than microwavable because the 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms and bigger all have a stove, have actual cooking utensils, pots, pans, etc.
But they want to make it convenient for you so you could actually buy food on property. And of course, nowadays they have things like, I believe, Garden Grocer and other food services that you could have food delivered to property, but due to security,
you need to check with the hotel concierge and find out what they recommend.
Right, because like we've seen people trying to order pizza before, and you can do it, but it's only delivered to the front. Right, you have to go meet them, or because they don't just anybody could come in with a pizza box, say I'm here to deliver pizza.
Right, and get into the resort. So
so
they try to avoid that.
Right, Disney's really good about keeping you secure. So if you do want to get food from outside and you are staying on property, make sure you check with them before you order anything. Right. They also have the Screen Door General Store, Disney's Character Carnival, Thimbles and Threads, and one of our favorites, Wayland Galleries. Right. It's actually pronounced Wyland, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think I typed that wrong because it's Wyland Galleries, which, as I've said, we bought a few pieces of artwork from them. Yeah. They have a couple of locations. I'm not sure if any of the locations moved, but that one's been there for a little bit of time.
That's one of their bigger ones for sure on the Disney property. And then there's a lot of, it's actually kind of an interesting store because there's a lot of non-Disney stuff in there, along with obviously a lot of Disney stuff. And then they have artist signings all the time, so you can come in, admire the artwork, and have a glass of bubbly and some cheese and crackers and that kind of stuff. And then you can revel at the artwork that is there. And then I was trying to convince some of our friends to buy the enormous 12-foot tall dolphins that were sculptures that were there.
They didn't want to?
They didn't want to. I don't know why.
They have the perfect space in their house to put it, though. At Wyland Galleries, they have a lot of sea life dolphins and turtles and fish. That's
Right.
I think Wyland is an artist, and that's what
Right.
he's famous for.
Right.
But as you said, we've purchased Jim Warren artwork,
Yep.
and people may or may not associate him with Disney art.
Right.
He designed the Moody Blues, or one of the, I could picture it. It was the unicorn artwork on the front of the album.
I don't remember which one.
If it wasn't Moody Blues, it was kind of that same
Right.
time period genre.
Sure.
So he's known for, different types of art, not just Disney art.
Right.
There's some nightlife at the boardwalk,
Yep.
which you and I have passed by, but we've never been in. We should really make a concerted effort to try these out.
We should.
Of course, now we're getting older, and nightlife isn't the same
Yeah.
as when we were younger.
Well, the piano bar would probably is more our age group, unfortunately.
Right. Yes. Jellyrolls is 21 and up.
Yep.
And that is the dueling pianos. They've had a lot of, there used to be in South Florida a place called Howl at the Moon.
Right.
There are a few different piano bars around. They're all pretty much the same
Yeah.
style. I'm not sure if, because it's on Disney property, if it's a little more PG or not.
Right.
We haven't been, as I said, so we would have to find that out, but it'd be fun to find. Atlantic Dance Hall, which is 21 and up, and that does not have a cover charge
Right.
during normal operating hours, which is nice. And Abracadabra Bar, which it has the word bar in the name. It's a
Yep.
lounge. But online, it did not say that you had to be 21 and older. So I found that, I'm not saying you do or you don't. I'm saying I don't
Right.
know, but it didn't say online.
You want to check. But the nice thing in Disney is a lot of the lounges and bars are not strictly quote unquote 21 and over. You can bring your kids in with you. Obviously, they're normal rules apply, but it's not a
Right. They can't sit up at the bar where the alcohol is being served, but they can
Right.
be in that area. And that may be what Abracadabra Bar is like.
Right.
That, like I said, please check, don't say, but I heard.
right.
I'm just saying online, it specifically said for Atlantic Dance Hall and specifically said for Jellyrolls that it was 21 and up.
Correct.
For Abracadabra Bar, even though it has bar in the name, it did not say anything of the sort.
Right.
So I just found that a little bit interesting.
Sure.
And I believe, and I should have written down the hours, but I believe Boardwalk is probably open the latest of all things on Disney property, because Disney Springs is open till 12 or 12:30, and
Right.
the Boardwalk is open till 1 or 2.
Well, we need to preface that by saying some things on the boardwalk are open to 1 or 2.
Not the stores. The stores open until about 10, but
Right.
the nightlife, the entertainment, the ESPN, the Abracadabra Bar, the dueling pianos.
Right. Those are going to be open later. But yeah, the
Right.
stores are going to be closed. The general restaurants will be closed. I mean, the most of the restaurants are open until 9, 10, 11 o'clock. But I mean, the bars or the 2 clubs will be open later. So.
Right. So if you're looking for later entertainment because maybe you're at Disney Springs and it's 10:30 and they're going to be closing at 11:30 or 12, you could head over to
Sure.
the Boardwalk and find other entertainment there.
That's right.
And of course, on the Boardwalk are the Boardwalk Inn and the Boardwalk Villas,
Right.
which we have not stayed at yet. And there are 3 themed pools at that resort, which as per normal for Disney resorts having themed pools. So
Right.
I think it's a great little place to visit. If you haven't been there already, you should
It is.
definitely check it out. And it's another one of those non-ticket days.
Right.
If you are there for 7 days, but you bought a 5-day ticket, that's just an example that we're using. But,
Sure.
It's a place that you can go and visit when you don't want to use a park ticket, or maybe you're going in October or September, October, and you're going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Right.
You can get into the park early for that. So you don't want to go in the park earlier in the day. You can go check out the Boardwalk in the morning.
Right.
It's just one of the many places you can check out without needing
Yeah.
a ticket to get into.
The only thing is, I mean, it's smaller than downtown Disney.
It's
and
a
Disney's-
lot smaller.
So it's not you're not going to be able to burn off a full day. It's more the kind of place where you're going to burn off. If it's the first time, 2 or 3 hours is pretty easy. If you stop and eat, add that on there. So
For the farewell breakfast, for Trattoria Al Forno in general, for Flying Fish Cafe in general, you're going to want to get a reservation in advance.
course.
And if you have a dining reservation or you were able to get dining while you're there, that can easily burn off 2 or more hours just sitting down and eating, not including taking time to walk around.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you. It's not an all day thing, but it definitely you can easily kill 4 hours there if you're dining.
Sure.
If you're dining there, plus you can go dine, have your meal, walk around a little bit, and then go get a funnel cake.
Right.
Or you can go get ice cream, sit down and just enjoy the view. I mean, you don't have to be run, go just because you're on vacation. I mean, relaxing and just enjoying the scenery. They have some tables because that's where we ate our ice cream. Mm-hmm. On the boardwalk, they had some tables right there. And we just sat down at the tables and it was a pleasant day outside. I think, wasn't it a little cooler?
The day we got our ice cream? No,
yeah.
It was hot.
I know it was sunny, but I don't remember if it was...
No, it was hot.
Was it hot? Either way, but there's water to look at. So it's a pleasant atmosphere just to relax. You can have a really relaxing day over there.
And it's generally not that crowded. So
generally speaking, correct. Yeah. But it's a nice place to go to.
Sure.
We'll be going back to the Disney World Resort in the near future. So maybe that'll be a place we might decide to hop on over to.
Maybe.
Might be a good place to hang out at.
Sure.
On that note, it's dinner time.
It is.
I know it's not surprising because we usually tend to record later in the day. Mm-hmm. So thank you for listening or thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't done so already, why not? Subscribe.
And if not, please rate, review, thumbs up, like the video, like the podcast, leave a review.
Yes.
Have a comment.
Review us, feedback us, comment us.
That's right.
That's not proper grammar, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, hooked on phonics worked for you.
Exactly. So on that note, thank you. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say good night.
Good morning.
Or good afternoon.
Good evening.
Or good day.
How about goodbye?
All right. Bye.
Bye.